Good morning, and today we are at day 25 in our readings through the Gospel of John. We're at John 12 verses 1 through 19, and in our passage, the writer, John, gives us a time marker. He says 6 days before Passover. He's telling us that this is the last week before Jesus' death and burial. Almost one half of John's Gospel is given to Holy Week, to this last week. And so we find Jesus attending a dinner in Bethany. They're celebrating the raising of Lazarus from the dead. They're celebrating Lazarus' life. And it's a time when the weight of the world is literally on Jesus' shoulders. And yet he joins his friends and others to celebrate. As usual, we find Martha serving and Lazarus and Mary sitting with Jesus. And in this setting, Mary does something remarkable. As an expressive gift of her love and devotion to Jesus. We know that it was the custom of a host to wash the feet of their guests upon arrival. The streets were dusty. People would be wearing sandals. It was a common courtesy. It was unusual, however, to do so during the meal and for the hosts themselves to do this. To attend to the feet, would have been an act left to the lowest of the servants. The servant would bring a basin of water and a towel to wash the feet, and perhaps at the end would dab their feet with just one tiny drop of oil or perfume. Very shortly, we'll see Jesus doing this very act with the disciples in the upper room. Mary, however, instead of water, uses a very costly oil, and instead of a towel, she lets her hair down and wipes his feet with her hair. Mary's action denotes a great humility as well as a great devotion. Her gift was remarkable. The oil, we are told, was worth a year's salary. It would have been saved up for anointing the body after death of a family member, or as an investment to be sold when times were hard and money was needed. Mary's actions were selfless. She let her hair down in public to wipe his feet, something a woman rarely did. Mary didn't care what people thought. Her heart went out to her Lord, and she expressed her gratitude and love through this beautiful and touching act. John also makes a point of telling us that the house was filled with the fragrance of the oil. We know that smells are tightly connected to memories, and for those in attendance, the smell of this fragrant perfume would always carry them back to this moment in Mary's act of humble devotion and love. Now, let's contrast Mary with another person that we learn a lot about in this passage, and that's Judas. Judas is appalled by Mary's actions, absolutely appalled. Judas, who would betray Jesus in a matter of days, was the treasurer for the group. He did not see an act of love and devotion. He saw finances being wasted, finances that could potentially have been his. And as we know, he had been stealing from the treasury. Judas wanted the oil to be sold for the poor, so he said, and yet he was in the process of selling Jesus for a few coins himself. Judas was blinded in self-interest as he criticized Mary's action. One commentator put it this way: when a man has gone so far in selfish greed that he has left common honesty behind him, no wonder if the sight of utterly self-surrendering love looks to him as folly. Now, Jesus doesn't criticize Mary, but he defends her. Excessive spending at a funeral was not regarded as unseemly and was not criticized. In a matter of days, his dead body would be anointed with similar oils. Jesus was saying to Judas, it is inappropriate to put a price on Mary's love and devotion. She is honoring me in my life while I am still with her and with you, rather than waiting for my death. There will always be opportunities to minister to the poor, but Jesus' life on earth was coming to an end. And so the priority shift was appropriate, honoring and loving. A few questions to reflect on as we look at both Judas and Mary. Just like Judas, we often say things that have selfish or ulterior motives. Let's take some time to pray and ask God to search our hearts and see if there's anything we need to confess in this area. Mary gave a costly gift to Jesus because she believed he was worth it. Is there anything in our lives that we are holding on to that might seem costly or precious, but that we know we need to lay down at Jesus' feet? I'm enjoying my times with you and our time in the Word. Tomorrow we come back for John 12, verses 20 through 50. Have a great day.